lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kansas Speedway for round number 12 of the Moonshiners Racing Cup Series. Tony Crasso, Matt Metler in the booth with you for this one. Matt, I don't know about you, but I didn't get enough of this track on Sunday.
I didn't get enough of it either, and had the opportunity to broadcast a race here last night, and it was everything you wanted, expected from this racetrack, down to the wire. And you know Moonshiners is always going to kick it up a notch as we come to everyone live on the SRM YouTube channel, live from heart of Tornado Alley, from the 1.5-mile oval. It's going to be fast, multiple groups here. Look for that second lane to open up as those tires wear, Tony. We're in for a treat here this evening. I'm fired up and ready to go. I don't know about you, sir.
I love me some cookie-cutter track racing, especially when there's a giant wang in the infield. I said it. I said it.
It's too high. Well, that's break number one for me.
Score. Well, you know, Well, we've got about 2 minutes left in the practice session. Let's take a quick look at the point standings coming in tonight.
Hey, before you do that, Tony,
You had some big news about the points.
I do have some big news about the points. So last week, as time expired, we thought that Kenny Kapala had won that race. About 30 seconds later, we noticed that the caution had come out after I had thought I had seen him cross the start and finish line. After review by admins and officials, it was determined that the caution flag had came out before the 77 had taken the white flag. As we know, the epic results of that race was one to go down in the record books as far as exhilarating. It was everything you wanted from a broadcast perspective, except for that driver of that 77 machine. He protested it, received an official statement from iRacing that acknowledged basically that he did win that race. However, due to the 1 second delay from what the driver sees on his end until the server processes and renders it out, he fell into the black hole, which about one in every 1,500 racers or so occur in. And because of that, he did not win the race and received one of the biggest all-time robberies of a win that I have ever seen in my iRacing career, Tony. So you're right. That was a huge update there as the week unfolded. I wanted to bring that to you guys before we kicked anything off here tonight in Kansas.
And that would be one of the reasons why Kenny Capola is a little bit further back than he would like to be from Shane Davis, who currently leads the point standings. So Beast Mode 1-2 in the points with Davis and Capola. Then you've got Barry Sanders for Bad Boy Racing sitting in third in points. Kyle Holden, Brandon Zimmerman rounding out your top five. Tim Wortman, Hunter Carmichael. And from Hunter on back is where it starts to get a little bit tight. You know, John Binder is only a handful of positions from, taking over from Hunter. But he's got to be careful because he's got a very hungry Chris Davis behind him. Caleb Lebanier can never count that kid out. And then you got Aaron Matthews, Warren Young, Stephen Harry, Nick King, Justin Belmonte, Garrett Crawford, Justin Sorrells. And then you got a little bit of a gap back to Darren Mullins in 18th. But
yeah, well said there, Tony. Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but you're absolutely right. So much talent right there, and they're literally stacked on top of each other. All those are great drivers. You can't count any of them out. They can certainly catch fire in any one of these races. And that's really where the hornet's nest is, especially right now at this point in the season.
And you're absolutely right. It is a hornet's nest, because everybody is jockeying to try to get what they can right now as let's bring the tower up as we're going to be able to see who's on track. It looks like the aforementioned Kenny Capola is going to be one of the first ones to attempt to lay a time here in the qualifying session. First one to take the green. And we know that Kenny's not a one lap wonder. He's not the best at qualifying we've ever seen. But when he puts his mind to something, look out for that 77 tonight, because he's going to be on a tear.
His buddies, the people closest to him, refer to him as Sasquatch at times for what he is capable of dialing up out there on the racetrack. And after what happened last week, Tony, I've been thinking about this all week, and I think we're about to see Kenny Capola go supernova here at Kansas. It's just my opinion. It's my thought. But hey, you don't want to give that guy an extra reason to go out there and grab that extra gear, if you know what I mean. As you see that 77 completing lap one of his qualifying lap, or lap two, I'm sorry, currently sits on the pole P1 with a 30-32. Randy Mullins, Jordan Schmeetz, and Paul Whitney round out the top four as they run right now.
Hunter Carmichael starting to roll it. Justin Belmonte back with the series. And Justin was already on the flyer. I saw him go down onto the apron and then come back up. I thought he was coming out of the pits, and I almost cringed. But that lap by Coppola is currently fastest lap of the night so far.
Yeah, that's the fastest during any timed part of this event so far. So that's obviously through practice, but still, that is a full-blown, in the words of Cletus McFarland, ripper at a 30:32. Is multiple cars now putting times down here on the racetrack. Justin Belmonte currently right now in 14th at a 32:17. Still waiting on about the other half of the field to go out there and create and run their lap. As you currently see Jamison Middlemiss out there in the 16 machine coming up to speed.
He is at that. It's Hunter Carmichael. First lap for Hunter. Fourth quick. Klotz goes up to third. Let's take a look at what's going on with Brandon Zimmerman. There he is. Not happy with how that... I'm not sure if he's already taken the green or not. There's Justin Sorrell in the Elite 13. Carmichael goes to third quick.
Awesome lap for Hunter Carmichael in that 3 machine, all the way up inside the top 5 in that third place position. Tony, what a run so far for him. That's the kind of momentum he's looking for.
It is. As Justin Sorrell, we mentioned him. Here comes the boss man, Barry Sanders. New paint scheme for him tonight.
Yeah, he's going matte out. Matte black. He's got some red in that race car. The 88 machine, that ZL1 Camaro is looking hot.
Now, something else is looking hot is take a look at that track temperature. We are in the triple digits currently. 72-degree ambient air. Only 38% water grain in the air, which means these engines are going to be making gobs of horsepower. And I honestly think that that's one of the reasons why the United States never went to a metric system. Because what's the metric equivalent to a shitload?
Tony,
and I think I broke Matt again.
Well, I know what is it. And that's the performance in that 88 machine. I think the Sandman's going to be up on the wheel tonight. That 88 is looking spicy. I think Barry's primed here to give a good performance here this evening. Certainly electric there at Talladega a few weeks back. As he put on one heck of a show. As he's now on his second lap in that 88 machine currently.
And negates the lap.
Oh, just a little bit of contact there, Tony. It doesn't take much. You even breathe on that wall. You hit anything, come in contact, and that lap is gone. Bye-bye, sayonara, see you later.
You are absolutely correct, sir. But getting back to the weather conditions, partly cloudy skies, so we're okay there. 107-degree track temperature currently in qualifying. A little after 3 p.m. in sim time. But that wind, the wind always has me concerned. Triple-digit track temperatures and wind gusts up to 12 to 13 miles an hour, and it's a steady kind of cross breeze coming off of 2 and off of 4. As Spear gonna negate that lap.
Yeah, right when you were talking about that cross breeze.
And that's exactly where it's going to hit. It's a cross breeze coming out of turn 4. It's coming from turn 4 heading towards turn 2. So if it gusts to 12 and you're not, that's the problem with running the high line here tonight, especially with how high these guys were running. The track is progressively banked. We all know that, but if you run too high, like I won't put my right side tires any higher than that outer hash mark. Only because you get marbles up there, so you get the tires dirty. And then as Spear goes up to 15th quick, let's take a look at Caden Nofree. Actually, let's look at Shane Davis. Your points leader. out on track. Getting ready to end it. Whoa. Davis, 9th quick.
Yeah, still loving the paint scheme on that 79 machine. That car is loud. It looks wild. As fast as he is out there on the racetrack is Shane P. Davis right now currently says, like you said, Tony, sitting in that 9th place position. Can he pick up at the line?
Up to
he
6th.
Does. With the 30-50 lap number 2, that puts him inside the top 10 as we sit right now, as we're starting to come down to just 2 minutes left in this qualifying session.
Well, there is still time to lay one down as Warren Young is on his second of 2 flyers, getting ready to end it here. Young goes up to 12th. We're still waiting on David Vallisari and Derek Jacobs to try to lay a time. Larry Levenier negated his one flyer. It negated both laps, actually, is what happened. He brushed the wall coming out of 2 on both laps and not able to post a legit time. But, Matt, this is, buckle up because there's a lot of racing here tonight.
Yeah, there is going to be a boatload of racing here tonight, Tony. And you're right about running that high line here. If you have to go up there, if you elect to go up there, that window of safety that you have, if you do catch that cross breeze or any other reason throughout the course of this race that makes you jostle that car around just a little bit is gone, and you catch the wall here at Kansas, and it'll suck you into this racetrack. It'll tear up the aero. We know how important that is on this race car. However, on the other side of it, if you're like Kyle Larson and company, and you can make it rip up there, you're going to be really primed, especially if you can make it go the distance up on the high side of the racetrack, but you lose that window of safety. And I agree with what you're saying, Tony. When I run here, I stick to the middle or just about a half a car length off the bottom. That's where I like to be.
Well, the problem with running that Larson line that you were talking about is when iRacing brought out the last update on this car as far as the aero model goes, unfortunately, they broke the aero bubble on this car. You used to be able to get up there and use the aerodynamics to kind of, let it kind of lean in, and use that bubble to keep you off the wall. But now you can't do that anymore. Hopefully they bring that back because I think it led to better racing. But let's get right into it as the qualifying grid up on the screen. Starting up on the point is going to be, the man who got robbed last week, Kenny Capola. Sets quick time, 30.322, 26 thousandths to the good over Randy Mullins in the 54. Hunter Carmichael and Nick King going to make up row number 2. Row 3 is going to see Darryl Klotz and Shane Davis. Aaron Matthews and Chris Davis in row number 4. And again, we've got 2 Davis cars running stem to stern again this week. Second week in a row we've seen that. Chad Sullivan and Justin Searle going to make up row number 5. Row 6 is going to go to Caleb Levenier and Warren Young. Jordan Schmeetz and Paul Whitley in row number 7, and rounding out the top half of the field, Matt Mackin and Jeff Taylor.
And I'll take you the rest of the way through the starting lineup here tonight from Kansas. In 17th, the 7 of Chris Spear. Starting 18th, the 65 from Underdog Racing, that is Brandon Zimmerman. Residing in 19th, the 69 of Bad Boy Racing, Garrett Crawford. Rounding out your top 20, the 93 of Ryan Huff. 21st belongs to the Indiana native of Garen Mullins. Outside of him, the 22 in 22nd position, the 33 of John Binder. 23rd starting position of Bobby Justice from the Virginias. I'm going to assume that is from the state of Virginia. Outside of him, Jamison Middlemiss piloting that 16 from Warrior Racing. 25th, Nicholas Atwood in the 24. 26th position, Steve Harry in the 87 tonight. 27th belongs to the Indiana native, another one, Caden Norfry. The 46 starts 28th of Keith Hume Sr. 29th, the HMFIC, or head chief and body washer of Barry Sanders Jr. in the 88. Starting 30th, Ryan Kling in the 15.
A little quicker. Got to go a little bit quicker, Matt, as we're getting ready to turn these guys
Carson, 32nd, Tim Horton, Justin Belmonte, Derek Jacobs, 35th, Larry Leviner, and 36th, that's David Balisari.
So 36 cars scheduled to roll it here tonight from Kansas. Geico restart zone is in effect. Stage caution going to happen on 40 and 95. 200 laps the scheduled distance here tonight. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab that popcorn because it's time to get it on in Kansas. Race fans, it's showtime!
And we're live from Kansas. 1.5 mile oval comes to life as these drivers climbing up through the gearbox, working the turns 1 and 2 complex for the first time. Sasquatch himself, Kapala, leads the charge, but someone dives down on the inside, looking to get that lead early on as they go into turns 3 and 4. The rest of the field following suit, Tony.
They are at that, as these guys are picking them up and laying them down right now. Capola, though, out to a little bit of a gap. Hunter Carmichael right there with him, though. And something we saw again on Sunday night, Toyota leading the pack here, and you got to wonder, is Capola doing something that we don't know about?
Or is it something just to do with that Toyota, that Camry in general? Because you're right, Tony, every time you and I broadcast a race together, these Toyotas are just bad fast, as Kenny Kapala continues to carry the torch. But look at the 54, Randy Mullins charging on the bottom. Hunter Carmichael, they are deadlocked right now. Drag race going down the backstretch. That's going to pull the air brake, and that's going to allow Hunter, Nick King, and Shane P. Davis to try and reel him in here, Tony.
It is at that, but we got some battling going on back here. That's Shane Davis working on Schmeets right now. Davis with a little bit of a nose out front. Has some friendly fire behind him. The problem is, Schmeets is not giving up on that top side.
No, Schmeets is like Ryan Newman on the racetrack. If you want to take anything from him, doesn't matter how laps that man is down, he is going to make you earn it. Is now Schmeets is going to go ahead and give up that position here early, but not without a fight. As you see that 41 machine on the high side of the racetrack now charging back. He's got to run. Now he's all over the back of the Ford King. Relentless in that 41. No quit.
In the races we've done with this series, Schmeets has had good short run speed, but the question is, what type of long run speed is he going to have?
That's the biggest wild card factor. We know that Ford is bad fast, like you said, out of the gate. As you've seen him hang tough on the high side there, got a great run, overtook the 79 machine, and now he is just all over King. And that number 4, Kevin Harvick, Ford, great looking paint job on that race car here tonight as well. As he's going back to the top where Mama hides the cookies, he thinks about crossing it over. Look at Schmeets.
He did everything except turn the race car there. 21's in the wall.
The 21 of Chad Sullivan, he is up in the wall as Tony just called. Oh, that got close.
Almost 3 wide for a second there. Sullivan's going to continue to backslide. There's a lot of damage on that car.
Yeah, he cheese grated that wall, as you like to say, down the entire back stretch there. And that's because this track really likes to suck that race car in. Once you get in it, you got to put a ton of wheel in it to come out of it. And he did a great job in not turning back down into traffic there. is a big moment in that race car. I bet you his blood pressure is 500 over 1,000 right now.
Yeah, pretty much. But checking back in, battle just inside the top 10. As a matter of fact, the final 2 spots in the top 10 is Brandon Zimmerman in the 65. Kind of a Woods Brothers feel to that paint scheme. I'm digging it.
Yeah, rightfully so. I'm vibing with the 65 as well tonight. Look how many spots he's up already. Zimmerman is zoomed up 9 spots. Now he's inside the top 10 in 9th place. But Jordan Schmeets, the biggest mover, up 10th, who's now crested the top 5. He's in 3rd. That 41 is on a ringer. The first 9 laps of the race.
And again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. He's shown good short run speed in the races that we've done with these guys so far. I think this is our 3rd or 4th trip to the tracks with these guys. You know, he's had good short run speed. It's just, you know, I don't think we're going to see a ton of cautions tonight. As Shane Davis starting to claw his way back up. Oi, Chris Davis bangs the wall.
Yeah, he goes up there and gives it a high 5. And that 79 ride, that ZL1 Camaro, that's going to flake the paint just a little bit.
Well, you know, as far as high fives, there are days where I just want to high five people in the head with a steel chair. And I broke Matt again.
Note to self.
Be sure to join us tomorrow night for our scratch and dent sale. Buy any buy any damaged mat at a regular price, receive a second one free.
We'll even pay you to take the second one if need be.
You're not wrong. Meanwhile, this battle between Carmichael and King starting to get hot and heavy for 4th. This is one of your closest battles on track, and I take that back as things getting really hot and heavy back here for 13th. As that is Darren Mullins, Warren Young, and Darrell Klotz, all within about a car length. Well, a car length and a half between them.
Well, just about a half lap ago, Tony, did you see that that job that Klotz put on? Oh, that was a hope and a prayer. And he was able to fit all of that race car in the only possible hole that was within 20, 30 feet of those 3 cars that were just stuffed together on the racetrack. I thought for sure that was going to be caution number 1, but he made it stick. And you're right, that's a hot spot on the racetrack. Looking at Darrell Klotz there in the 99. Unfortunately, going the wrong way early. Going back through the field down on a 15th place position, or 11th place position. That's going to be the 33 of John Binder. Justin Sewell, Bobby Justice, the 69 of Garrett Crawford. All right here in a tight battle this is a cluster of cars.
Belmonte, currently your biggest mover at plus 14 after not laying a time in qualifying. But that
took the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Road.
Absolutely did. And you got to, second week in a row we see him not qualify, and you kind of got to wonder where would he be if he had tried to qualify.
Yeah, that same thought.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Tony. That same thought process ran through my head a couple times now, and the only thing I can come up with, maybe that's just what his MO is. Maybe that gets him in the zone. Maybe that gets the racing juices flowing. But you're right. I mean, if this guy put down a qualifying lap as easy as he can just slice and dice through the field, you would think he would be up there contending just about every single week with the way he just churns through the field. I couldn't agree with you more.
Taylor getting into the wall, going into 1. That's going to cost him the spot as Darren Mullins able to pick him off. Now Warren Young sets his sights on Taylor. Looking to the inside. Taylor committed to putting the left side tires on that outer hash mark. And I honestly think that that's a little too high to be running, especially with how dirty this track already is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either, Tony. I mean, plus this track is...
We're under caution.
At lap 17, a first caution flag of the day waves. We're going to take a look back now to the replay as we go up high in the sky. See if we can figure out what happened.
Well, there's Ryan Huff in the 93. They're on the low side. 16 gets sideways, and Huff finishes them off. That was on the 16. The 16 just got a little bit sideways. Let's watch that again. As we are going to go to the eye in the sky. Keep your eye on that black and gold 16 of Jamison Middle Miss. Tell me your dad's an alcoholic without telling me your dad's an alcoholic.
Point in case.
I used to enjoy a good bottle of Jameson every once in a while.
Oh, Tony, when I'm DJing, that's all they serve me. Oh, I hate it as much as I love it.
Yeah, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with alcohol.
Now as we're 18 laps in the books.
Only a handful of takers out of the top 5.
Yeah, I thought maybe we'd see some more, maybe playing a little pit strategy here, but we're going to save those Goodyear Eagles.
Now they have 6 total sets tonight, by the way.
Yeah, 6. That's a healthy helping in the pits. You can be a little aggressive with your tire utilization here tonight, which is why I thought, and I think you were thinking the same thing too, Tony. Maybe some more takers down on pit road, but then again, we're not out there on the racetrack. Perhaps they know something we don't. It has been all Sasquatch up front tonight. That 77 has been a laser as he has now caught the pace car as we slow things down here to a snail's crawl from what we were running just moments ago. Randy Mullins, Hunter Carmichael, Nick King, Jordan Schmeetz in that 41 round out the top 5.
And, we've seen some strong moves going on. As you mentioned, Jordan Schmeetz currently sitting +8, Brandon Zimmerman +10, Justin Belmonte +16, back there in 17th position. And never count out Timmy Wortman either.
Now, Wortman Jr., in my opinion, has a really good long-run car as well.
Exactly.
You can never count him out. The longer these races stay green, that just falls right into his wheelhouse. And, speaking of big movers here, I know Barry Sanders didn't have the qualifying effort that he would have liked, but he's having a really strong run here in the opening act as he's up 12 spots, right behind Wortman Jr. in that 17th position.
Actually, Wortman is in 20th. Sanders is in 21st. But you want to talk about long-run cars, Sanders is one of the best at, keeping his equipment under him. So this could get interesting. Now that the field's all caught back up to each other, everybody's bunched back up, this is about to get fun.
Yeah, the calm before the storm. It's like the day before a hurricane strikes South Florida. The sun's out, cool breeze. You never would know it's about to get rowdy around the corner. And as these lights get ready to go out on the pace car, this time by at the line, you can see Kenny there in the 77 cleaning off those Goodyears. Because we know what's coming, Tony. The minute that car goes down pit road, these V8s are going to come screaming back to life like an EF5 tornado ripping through the heart of the Plain States.
You're not wrong, and funny you should mention tornadoes. We are in Kansas. And your little dog, too. But
Kansas...
go ahead.
I love storm chasing myself. Team Extreme WX, if you guys never checked it out, give it a shout, give it a like. Not that I'm trying to plug my own stuff here, but spent a lot of time in Kansas chasing. Got great visuals, can see for miles. So why not throw that reference in there, Tony?
Coincidentally, when I was first becoming a tractor trailer driver, we stopped at the casino that's just outside of turn 2 of this track, and I didn't realize it till I got out of the truck to go inside to take a pee. And I look and I'm seeing what looks like a billboard, or the backside of a billboard. I'm going, well, that's a funny place to be putting a billboard like that. And I stumble over, oh, that's the racetrack.
As we go back green one more time here, green flag in the air, and the 77 of Kenny Kapala back on the loud pedal. He gets a nice jump there on the restart, takes it up top. Gonna try and get that Camry wound up as we start going down the backstretch. But look at the 3 of Carmichael. That was a great center off for that Camaro, and he was able to dial it in right on the back of that 77 TRD Camry. The 54 and company, here they come. Here comes the Ford King as well, as they got a ton of steam behind that 77.
And don't look now, but that is one Shane Davis, your current points leader, slugging it out with King right now, trying to wrestle 4th away from him and set his sights on getting onto the podium. And, you know, with Davis having such a big gap, he's almost a full race to the good.
Yeah, talk about an insurance policy that has 0 deductible. I mean, that man could go on vacation, hit the beach, let these guys worry about racing, kick the sand off, come back, saddle up the week after, and still potentially have the lead. I mean, that's what this man has done early on in the season. As you see the 54 there of Randy Mullins getting around him. Mullins really starting to dial it up here as these laps continue to wind on. You know, no surprise there that Mullins starts to come to life as well.
Absolutely, as Mullins does have a long run set in that car usually. But, Matt, let me ask you this. When you go to the beach, do you know what to look for danger?
Well, are you talking about danger in the air, danger on the ground? What type of danger are we talking about?
Well, the danger that I'm talking about is take a look where the lifeguard chairs are, and then take a look where the edge of the water is.
Oh, you're talking about the tides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take a look and if it gets more than 50 feet from that lifeguard chair and it keeps receding, run like hell and get to higher ground.
That would almost be certainly, almost a tsunami warning or a tsunami inbound.
That's how you can tell a tsunami is coming, is when that water recedes way more than it should be. Get to the top of any hotel and hope for the best.
Yeah, just turn around, run, don't look back, get to the highest point that you possibly can, because something out of the biblical or out of the Bible is going to unfold. If you've ever seen one, you've ever seen videos of one, it is just crazy that water can do that. It's also crazy here to watch this 41 of Schmitz on these early runs here. He is lights out. I mean, he has put that race car everywhere on this racing surface. He's really explored the space out there, putting on one heck of a performance for everyone that's got us dialed in on the SRM YouTube channel. Jordan Schmitz in that 10th place position. You know he's looking for more, but Tony, does he have the long ball tonight?
See, that's just it. If you would have asked me 20 laps ago, I would have told you no. Now, it looks like he's starting to play long ball. Another guy who knows how to play long ball right there in the 88. And that is an angry wolf pack behind the boss man, Barry Sanders, in that Chevy Camaro. PS button boxes on board for tonight. Oi!
That big! How did they not collect each other? That had disaster all over it, Tony, as I believe that was the 44 machine of Caden Morfry.
It absolutely was. He almost just ate hot garbage with as close as those guys were running. Because, I mean, you take a look. You know, we're going to go on board with Justin Sorrell right now. No, Chris Davis. This is what it looks like out the back of Davis's ride. That's a Waffle House situation in the corners. There are cars scattered, smothered, and covered all over this racing surface as Nofri has more problems.
Oh, another big moment there for Nofri in that Camaro. That is not hooked up in the rear right now. 3 wide, hauling it off into the corner. Nofri wiggles again. He is mere millimeters from the wall.
And gets it.
He's in the wall. Does a great job keeping it up there as he merges back into traffic. Great situational awareness here from some of these guys in the back as he keeps the car up top. Oh, I thought he wasn't. Now it goes to side draft, the 14. The 14's going to... I don't believe it, Tony. That is 2 woulda, coulda, shouldas right there in the row. Is that should have been 3 cars on the hauler in the back of the field, and we're still under green flag conditions. Oh, my goodness.
Let's watch that again. As soon as I can find the 14. There's Lebanon. Oh, the 46 straightened him out. That's what happened.
He hit him just right.
Keith Hume hit him just right, just the right time, just the right angle to straighten that car back out. But I guarantee you Larry Lebanon on his next pit stop is going to have to change his fire suit.
Yeah, he's definitely has the Tide Ride of the Race Award right now. I'd have to change my shirt, my shoes, everything along with it, and the kitchen sink.
That's what you generally refer to as a first you say it, then you do it kind of moment.
Yeah, well, why not?
Think about it.
You're absolutely right, but deer in the headlights, if you're piloting that race car, as I don't know what went wrong there. I mean, everyone was staying out of the way. He was in the top side, and then all of a sudden just came right down. Looked like he was trying to side draft him, and disaster just about uncorked once again, Tony.
It looked like Nofri might have a tire going down because the way that car was, wiggling. And we know Nofri's caught the wall a couple of times. He could have bent some suspension pieces. You bend the rear sway bar in one of these things, and it's going to be out to lunch for the rest of the race.
Well, speaking of bending, this car is really tough. It's resilient, and that's why you see in real life, in these next-gen cars, these guys really lean on each other. The weak spot, though, is that toe link. As the 7 goes up and pops the wall. 3 wide here, coming through the start-finish line. Looks like the Blue Angels flying in a squadron. It is so tight. There are cars just skewed all over the racetrack. Pick your poison right now, Tony. This is intense.
I'm at a loss for words here, simply because it's just there's so much to watch. Where's Dan Rather when I need him to tell me where to point the damn cameras?
I mean, what do you want to cover? There's literally like 7 or 8 different things you can say about 8 different drivers right now on the racetrack as they run. As we go back up towards the front, there is King still ripping the top in that Ford Mustang, continuing to have a strong performance here. Brandon Zimmerman in the 65, he is rocking the bottom. He is committed to running that low line right off that white line. Is he's now going to try and stuff it in between King and the 79 of Davis. He's going to have some motor wound up in that Camaro. But wow, that was impressive. The 65 of Zimmerman able to get some late straightaway speed in that Camaro, or that Mustang. Turns it back to the bottom.
Helps if we go back live, doesn't it? Sorry about that.
Back to the future.
Yeah, Zimmerman, though, all over King. It may not say Woods Brothers, but trust me, it's a Woods Brothers car. Oh, another coat of paint. They would have been in trouble.
It was about to be a 5-man wrecking crew car there. It almost needed to be peeled off the outside wall there if there was any closer between the 65 of Zimmerman. Look at King Zimmerman.
Zimmerman was 8 different kinds of sideways. We got a wreck in the back.
As King and Zimmerman were having a full course meal, we had some other extra extracurricular activities kick off in the back. Caution number 2 out on the day.
Keep your eye on the 83, the tail car in that pack. He's going to send it up the inside. The 99 has to chase it down the track in the middle of the corner, and boom goes the dynamite.
That's a flatbread right there. I mean, those cars just came together quick, fast, and in a hurry. I mean, look at the carnage. Watch this, Tony.
Well, the 99 is going to get loose there. Down into the 83, and the 83, you know, it's one of those. He pit maneuvered the 93. Unfortunately, there was a car up on the top side.
Yeah, the other side of the sandwich was the bun was just up there at the right place, the right time, and they brought the rest of it up there with it. And
well, here comes the good news. Now that the field has caught the pace car, that might have been the stage break. Because we're within 5 laps.
Yeah, good catch there, Tony. You're right. Lap 41 being shown on the board right now. And that's typically the rule in most leagues. We'll see how they handle this, but I agree with you.
If you want to jump down and talk to Barry and double check that, right now we're looking at Coppola, Mullins, Carmichael, King, Davis, Mullins, Davis, both Mullins, both Davis in the top 10, Zimmerman, Levenier, and Matthews rounding out your top 10. Matthews getting the final point here. And, with all of that, we are going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be back right after this with the answer. And we are back as the lights do go out on the pace car. Matt, what did you find out?
Now we're running it.
Green white checker for the stage.
Green white checkered for the stage. We're going to do it Friday night shootout style under the lights. And as rowdy as these boys have been, I know it's only stage 1, but somebody make sure grandma's strapped in nice and tight. Pull those belts one more time, because it's about to get rowdy.
Field working its way out of the turn 4 complex. Geico restart zone in full effect. Coppola going to have the button one more time. And here we go. Into the restart zone, and Coppola jumps on the loud pedal. Carmichael getting a decent jump. Mullins had it timed almost perfect, though, on the outside.
Yeah, Mullins had it timed up perfectly, but Coppola fires off into 1 and 2 like he has done before, and really able to get some great momentum in that Camry as he's just entering the corner. But now here comes the 3 of Carmichael surging as he gets some help from the 54. And looking to go 3 wide. They're thinking about it is the 29. He's going to do it. He's going to stick the meat in there and try to squirt out of the sandwich. And he just about clears going across the start-finish line. Here comes Carmichael back on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. They almost touch. He gets arrow pushed into the wall. Here comes the 29 back on the top side once again. Is there 3 wide now just in back as Carmichael, the 79-year points leader, and others, and King are literally stacked on top of each other as we're still 3 wide.
White flag going to be in the air this time by Kenny Coppola. leads the piece. Looks like he caught the wall coming off a 4, though. Just a little bit of paint damage on the right side of the 77. Here comes Davis, his teammate, who did come down under that caution on lap 18 to get some fresh shoes put on.
Davis digging on the bottom. The 77 did catch the wall there. Now is Davis is going to have the preferred line, but can Coppola keep that Camry wound up on the top side? Here we come off the corner. Davis is going to get him at the line. Davis is going to get the first stage 1 win. Coppola second, and that was an absolute barn burner for stage 1. I can't even begin to imagine what stage 2 and what the win is going to look like. As we're under caution now for the third time.
Davis, Coppola, Mullins, Carmichael, Davis, King, Zimmerman, Huff, and Belmonte cracking into the top 10 as your biggest movers, sitting plus 23 back there in 10th. And with that, we are going to step away, pay a couple more bills, and we'll be back right after this.
Race fans, welcome back here to the heart of the Midwest from the Kansas Speedway. This 1.5 mile oval has served up some high flying, high octane action. 50 laps in the books. Tony, racing for that stage is just what the doctor had dialed up, because that was just exhilarating. As once again, though, the 77 of Coppola there gets robbed of another win by his teammate here. We re-rack him, restack him again. Lights are out on the pace car, and now Justin Sorrell, Keith Hume on the front row, Chris Davis, Randy Mullins, and then the 77. As they get ready to go back live, the pace car pulls off. Justin's going to have the button as we hit the Geico restart zone, and he's going to murder the throttle pedal, push it through the floorboard, up through the gearbox. Look at the 46 of Hume on the top side, getting some love from behind. Going to shoot that Camaro or that Camry out way up top. He's going to try and carry that momentum, but the rest of the field goes down to the bottom side. And look at the 77 hit the afterburner. Where did he come from? Is now Chris Davis and company as well. He's going to jump up to the top. And this is how you get it done here in Kansas. Everyone flaring all over the place. As now Kenny comes up the inside of the 13 of Sorrell, who is going back the wrong way quick, as we're 3 wide once again. Look at this crazy train coming. Pick your poison. I don't know what else to use to describe it. These guys are lights out right now, Tony. Are you with me?
They absolutely are. But the thing to consider, too, the 13 and the 46 pit under the caution just before the stage break so they could get track position. The 13 was ahead of the 46, so he got the credit for leading a lap. The 46 got robbed out of one. But you talk about being robbed. Look who's up into third already, as Randy Mullins giving his teammate Chris Davis all he can handle. That is Kenny Coppola, your defending series champion. As we've got a side-by-side action for the lead of this piece.
Yeah, Mullins continues to mow them down. And look at him mowing, churning up top. And the 77 is trying to figure out who he wants to go with. Mullins comes down to slam the door on Davis. Almost ran out of real estate. When he does it anyhow, he throws the body slam right in front of the 29 machine. That's going to bring the 77 of Kenny Coppola in tow. As now it's a 3-way draft up front for the lead. That's going to allow them to check out as they're side by side going lights out crazy for that third place position. It's 3 wide just about again. Oh, it's going to get really tight right here, boys. What a masterful job as the 13 takes it all the way downstairs to the flat. As we keep on rolling here from Kansas, look at the 64 there of Mullins continuing to pilot that race car, using every inch of real estate out there on the racetrack. And the 64 of the 46 of Keith Hume Sr. putting on a show. And just behind these guys, your points leader, Shane Davis, tried to find a spot to just run, as it is just turbulent. It's category 5 turbulence out there right now on the racetrack, Tony, at 180, 185 miles an hour, as we are 2 by 2 and 3 wide all the way through the field right now, as Barry Sanders continues to charge towards the front.
As Carmichael and Sorrell go door to door, that is the 65 of Zimmerman there with them. Luckily, Sanders had it well spotted, backed out of it, and giving these guys some racing room as, oh, baby!
Yeah, Fender just took off into the grandstands there. Did that come off the 64?
No, it came off of whom?
Or the 46, I'm sorry. Ouch.
Let's go back and take a look at what the heck happened there. It's going to pop off when they get back to turn 4. As we are watching the replay of what just happened to the 46 of Keith Hume Sr.
Settles down a little bit there for a moment. You can see him. He's still running the top shelf. He's got the 64 of Mullins underneath him there. We're just about side by. Oh, net code. Big time net code.
That was, yeah. You know, here we are. We're going to watch this one from the eye in the sky. I promise you, folks, I could have fit my fat, crippled ass in my wheelchair between those two cars. It's going to pop off. Okay. The 46 was starting to come down. And yeah, there was netcode, but they were going to hit regardless.
Yeah, and you always do such a great job, Tony, really just using the different camera angles to really dissect what happened there, because from the first read there, it looked absolutely netcode without a shadow of a doubt. Didn't even really see him start to come down the racetrack. But like you said, as we go to the eye in the sky, different story there. And you're right, they would have connected anyhow, but still, trouble finds that 46 machine early out here in Kansas, because that's going to really make it hard for that car to be effective here tonight with all of that damage to the front of that Camry. As we look at now at Barry Sanders, he has cracked 20 spots plus to the good, up 21 all the way down to the flat. Is he's going to squeeze back up in front of Aaron Matthews in the 5. This is just out, almost outside the top 10. This is for that 8th and 9th place position right now. We go back towards the front just a little bit. Everyone's single file, and that's indicative of the lap times we're running right now. Tony, we are flying around this facility.
Well, that's the thing. You can throw a blanket over 5th through 8th or 9th right now, as Matthews being the caboose in that little freight train there. And then you got a little bit of separation back to Nick King in the 4. But I mean, these guys are still within striking distance of each other. They'd be better off staying in line, trying to reel in those guys in front of them, as the distance between Chris Davis and Shane Davis is quite big. It's almost a full second.
You know, you're right, but you tried telling these drivers right now out there on the racetrack, they got some extra zesty horsey sauce right now in full blown display, because these guys are just going at it. I mean, just when you think they may dial it back just a little bit, nope, we send it right back to wide open. Is now the 77 of Chris Spear is under duress, under siege. Look at the push he's getting from that Mustang being piloted by Justin Sorrell in that 13. Or I'm sorry, that's the 6 of Justin Belmonte that was dialing up the tandem draft there, looking like Talladega. As we are still packed together, you can pitch a tent over these guys at well over 180 miles an hour going off into the corner.
Okay, so I think I just found my next venture. Nobody steal this from me. Car Porn Hub.
Car Porn Hub.
You've never watched car porn before?
No, it's just not my thing, that's all.
No. When I say car porn, I'm talking like going to a car show and just filming all the beautiful cars there and drooling over which ones you want. Like if I ever won the Powerball, I'd own that one, and 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 that one. Where would you live? I would build a garage with a living room off of it.
I would consider that solo crank yanking, but that's just me. But again, I see where you're going with that, Tony. But you got to remember, I'm an entertainment. I'm working a strip club. I'm a strip club DJ. So the minute you mention porn and hub, you know where my mind's going.
Somebody's fender just exploded.
Someone got a little too excited out there.
They must have heard about the car porn hub and decided to.
Yep.
Okay, I see what's going on. Chris Davis is having connection issues.
It looks like
do me a huge favor. Can you check the ping on the 29?
Yeah, we'll do a little recon on the 29's connection status. Tony, you got it.
We're currently watching this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Darren and Randy Mullins with Hunter Carmichael to break up the family. Yikes.
Well, he's about as Volatile is Old Faithful as that ping is coming in at 190.
190?
190.
I think he needs to go yell at his significant other and tell him to get off of the...
Now it's getting better. Now it's 141, but still, I mean, that's not where you want to be.
No, I mean, if it gets higher than 200, usually your quality is going to be in the toilet as well.
Yeah, he's flirting in between the 140 to 190 range. He just went back yellow. Oh, hold on to it. Hence the Volatile is Old Faithful, the geyser, which basically goes off.
Yeah, no, we got the reference.
Just making sure, Tony.
I got it, boss. Justin Belmonte just sitting outside the top 10 right now. We're back under caution. Something happened.
Lap 70, caution flag back in the air once again here in Kansas.
I don't have it.
I'm not seeing anything on the telemetry that would indicate maybe what had happened here. Let's see if we can figure this out. We know for certain cautions definitely being displayed here. You can see the pace is scaled way back.
Okay, there it is. Let's back that up a lap.
It looks like he was just trying to give him room there. Maybe,
Nope. 14 got turned.
There it is, just like you said.
Yeah, I went up to that big blimp cam and, figured we'd go to the eye in the sky and see what those boys picked up. But, let's back that up another lap here. This is the start. This is the start of the lap. And the 16 gets loose, and the 14 tries to come down. The only thing is the 15 had a wicked run on him. And just like they would say in Boston, it's a wicked pissa, as the 14 just gets sent. And just like that, we are under our third caution for incidents.
Yeah, since you mentioned Boston, yeah, that kicks off a big OT party there. There's now 71 laps in, like Tony said. You guys, if you are new to the SRM YouTube channel, you thought about becoming part of the family, stop thinking, start doing. Smash the like button, ring the bell. Come home to SRM high-flying racing action just like you're watching here right now in prime time on Wednesday night.
7 nights a week.
7 nights a week. And Tony, Super Tuesday, we got, 4 or 5 live broadcasts?
I think it's 4 tonight.
4 tonight. We got a ton on Tuesday night. If you're into racing, sim racing, we have you covered. And that also helps these drivers find more viewers just like you guys. And that's really what it's all about, highlighting the talent and these electric performances that all of these drivers put on week in and week out.
Yeah, last night we had 4 broadcasts.
Got a little bit of everything right here at SRM. So go ahead and do it already. They'll be glad you did.
And be sure to join us tomorrow afternoon. And Matt, I know you love racing at Charlotte. The Svenska iRacing Ligan Cup Series goes to their season finale at the Queen City. That'll kick off at 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon. I will be on the call for that one, and I still have yet to hear who's going to be my broadcast partner for that race. But a little bit different pit strategy going on now.
Maybe I'll join you for that one, Tony.
Well, take a look at what happened with Coppola, Carmichael, Mullins, Sanders, Matthews, and company. They all came down and took foreign fuel. they've
I
got
like
enough
that.
time to claw through this piece.
They do. They absolutely do. And I like that move. I think that's a brilliant decision. The question is here, Tony. I mean, we've seen all of this jostling. I mean, just letting it ride, doing everything you can. Full blitzkrieg lightning war out here inside of these walls. But still, it's really hard to get some track position here at times. I love the call. We certainly know some of those guys have the speed in the race car. But how much of an advantage does being out in front give you here at this racetrack? We're about to find out. Let's see if these guys with 4 tires and fuel can keep the wick lit on their charge to the front, or does the clean air overtop that strategy? We're about to find out here. Is Chris Davis, Darren Mullins gets ready to lead them down to green?
Well, we only saw a 10-lap difference on the last restart when the 13 of Justin Sorrell tried to get into that clean air, and once the fresh tires caught him, it meant the square root of nothing.
In that instance, yeah, you're absolutely right. But I still think that it's going to have some more value here as this track continues to get more rubber worked into it. So we're back under green already, now going through the turns 1 and 2 complex. Look at this. Look at the offset here, Tony. Chris Davis running the bottom, the 79 literally riding the wall. And look at the momentum that Camaro is able to carry. But then it's like late corner when you come up off the bottom at the end of that
He's
straight.
into the wall.
Davis carried too much mustard on that one. And now that's going to allow King and company 3 wide. They touch. King gets into it with the 66 on the bottom or 65 of Zimmerman. They're still leaning on each other.
They are at that as Shane Davis able to rebound, but Zimmerman and King have not given up on each other yet, and they're going to have to be careful because they have a very hungry Justin Belmonte right behind them. Jeff Carson also there in the 81. He's sitting plus 24. Belmonte in the 6th, sits plus 27 right now.
Yeah, believe me, Belmonte would like nothing more than to catch these two sleeping as they're fighting door to door with each other. As he thinks about coming up there, jumping to the high side, he's not. He's going to come back down and get in tow with Zimmerman. Big wreck unfolding it near the back of the racetrack, Tony, as caution is back out underway here again in Kansas. Oh, the 5 going the wrong way, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
That's the second week in a row we've seen him do that dumb shit.
Yeah, he was clearly in the loud pedal as he was just cruising down off the top.
He did the same thing at Dover. Let's see what the eye in the sky picked up. The 87 gets loose.
Oh, that started it all right there.
Oy.
Did you see that catch to the face as the 3 got spun around facing the wrong way? Oh, he just...
I think league management might want to have a look with the 5. Because that's the second week in a row he has just thrown the car into reverse and put his foot to the floor and hit other cars while doing it.
Yeah, I can understand one time it being a freak accident, but now that's twice in a row. And clearly that car was sent hard. As you see here, going back to the replay, this all starts there with the 44 having to check up, and then the 7, all that energy's got to go somewhere. And it pops off right there with the 3, the 42, and others. And then as they collect come to a stop, you're going to see the 5 just click it down one gear and just mat it. Come back down and just clobber that 3 car one more time, being piloted by Hunter Carmichael. Oh, that was a violent collision.
The 48 had nowhere to go.
Yeah, once again, Mackin gets macked. And there we go. Full send, Hail Mary reverse.
Matt, if I could have you make a note for race control.
Copy.
Thank you. And with that, we
Completed.
are back under caution. And we are going to step away, pay a couple bills. We'll be back right after this. And we are back at Kansas for the Moonshiners Racing League Cup Series, round number 12 here from Kansas. As the field works its way down the American Ethanol back straightaway behind the iRacing pace car. Tony Faso, Matt Metler up in the booth with you for this one. And we have an all Davis front row as Chris Davis going to have the button. Your points leader, Shane Davis, trying to make something happen from that top shelf. And he's got a hard-charging Darren Mullins right behind him. I'm sorry, that's Brandon Zimmerman in the 65 behind Shane. Chris has Mullins behind him. This could get very interesting very quickly as Justin Belmonte has already cracked the top 5. Working lap. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you're darn right it's going to get interesting, as it's been a barn burner. And that 65, he has certainly been zooted out there on the racetrack at times. But look at the restart. What that car just squatted and took off like it had all-wheel drive. And Chris Davis in the 29. The only problem is now, Tony, he doesn't have all that help. He doesn't have that, that surge, all that energy from that draft. And now he's going to fall back here into the clutches of the 79 of Shane P. Davis, as he's going to just carry that momentum to the top side.
And we're back under caution.
I thought I seen it, and then I thought I didn't, and there it was again, and caution is back out on the racetrack once again.
You see Atwood in the Ghost Energy, number 24, down on the low side, and oh, man. Well, let's watch that again.
Yeah, he brought that car to the deep abyss of the infield there.
Gets it sideways on the low side, catches a little bit of that apron, and just goes up. The 5 nowhere to go after getting caught up in the previous caution. And the 5 never lifted.
No, he stayed it the whole way, full send. He did a good job of driving it through the grass, too. I mean, that gets really slick. But
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, once he made contact, normally you step on the brake to let the car give you a little bit of separation so you can get around the now parked car.
Absolutely, Tony.
Matthews
100%.
never lifted again. So.
Oh, you're absolutely right. 100%. I was just stating the fact that he did a nice job through the grass, but you're right. Typically, you lock the car down. You apply the binders of a certain degree. 100%.
Well, Matt, you and I have talked a couple of times that every league has that one Miley Cyrus driver. I think we figured out who it is in this league.
Well,
because the 5 just came in like a wrecking ball.
I'll never forget the first time I heard you use that analogy. All I can hear right now in my head is the song playing, and that makes it even funnier. Everyone's different, right?
I've heard the heavy metal version of that song, and I actually like it. It was a cover by, I think they were a Norwegian band, and for the life of me,
you're
cannot
talking
remember.
About Frog Leap Studios.
No. He did a good one, but no, there was one with a female singer, and she growled.
Oh, I have to check this one out.
I mean, she had a better growl than the woman that fronts the band Kitty.
That's impressive. Because that was a hard growl. I mean, that was one of the most fierce female vocalist growls of the 2000s and today.
Oh yeah.
So if she can top that,
they're still together, by the way.
Yeah, they're kind of clawing back to life. They're
touring up in Canada. We may have to take a road trip, sir.
Smile on my face. Yeah, we might have to. I think they had their debut album come out in 99 or 2000, and they were fierce.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of Wrecking Ball, you know who did a great metal cover of Katy Perry's E.T.? Another Norwegian by the name of John R. Studios. And I
have heard that, yeah.
To the bone. And I love it how they kept her vocal track in there, but the guitars and the drums and the bass are just unreal in that song.
If you ever want a good laugh, are you familiar with Rob Scallion's channel?
A little bit. I'm not fluent, but I know a little bit.
Go to his channel, and under the search bar in his channel, type in Slayer ukulele.
Oh, that sounds like...
They did 3 videos in sequence for 3 different songs, and it got more gory as it went on, but it was just... I watched the behind the scenes and was just totally impressed with the dedication that he and the young lady that he had singing for him granted.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be jaw-dropping just from the sound of it. I'll add that to my notes as well, Tony.
I'll send you videos after this race.
Yeah, send me the vids. Now you got me hooked. And look who is back in that Road 2 on the top shelf. Sasquatch wasting no time as he's got the juice inside the race car. He's feeling the vibe right now. Let's see if he can get up there and dethrone that 29 and Justin Belmonte. As we're back under green one more time, and this field is set and ready to rip. Here we go again from Kansas. Can we break the restart curse? Can we get a green flag run going? As Kenny's wasting no time getting the chrome horn on, getting people moving out of the way, as he's going to shove the 6 out in front of him. That just creates a big cluster there as cars go scattering. 3 wide going into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Belmonte on the bottom. 77 stuck in the middle. He's got the 6 on the outside. There's the 65 of Zimmerman on the bottom. Still 3 wide. We still don't have...
They're 5 wide behind him.
5 wide.
What in the actual hell are we watching?
They're still 4 wide.
Good grief. I mean, I understand that, yes, this track is progressively banked. Yes, this track is relatively wide, 4.5 miles. Oh, 65 in trouble.
Another miraculous save that had death written all over it, is I thought Barry Sanders was going to have the deer in the headlights. Look at this again, Tony. I don't believe it.
3 and 4 wide racing action here tonight. Round number 12 of the Moonshiners Racing League Cup Series. Tony Trapasso, Matt Metler in the booth with you tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell notifications as we are fast approaching 3,500 subscribers. And it's all because of people like you that we are getting there. 4 wide.
4 wide, but it's also a part of this high-flying race in action. This is just incredible, Tony. You're not supposed to be able to do this.
Not for this many laps.
No, look at Barry Sanders. I mean, you got to have some big lug nuts on the race car to stay right there and run that many laps as this man has. These guys are just sick. I mean, S-I-C-K,
well,
sick.
Here's the caution for the stage break. There it is. Everybody was slugging it out there. Coppola got the stage win. Davis, Belmonte, Taylor, Sanders, Mullins, Levenier, Carson, Zimmerman, and Mullins in the 54 getting the final point. Holy crap on a cracker. And with that, we are going to step away, pay a couple more bills, and we'll be back right after this.
Thy cup runneth over.
As the lights go out on the official iRacing pace car, Randy Mullins elected to stay out, trying to play that tire strategy game here in the late going as we're working lap 95 of 200, closing in on the halfway mark. Mullins was last down on lap 70. Everybody that came down pit road this time, though, 4 fresh Goodyears and a fresh tank of Go Fast.
Yeah, and while everyone else has those 4 fresh Goodyears and that go-go race car fuel, Mullins goes full-blown high-stakes Las Vegas mode and keeps that track position that pace car pulls off. His Race Wars gets ready to go into round number, whatever round we're on right now. Here we go again. Mullins gets a good jump up through the gearbox. Hanging tough. He didn't spin the tires. Great restart so far for the 54. Look at this, Tony. But here comes the herd. Here comes the 29 charging on the bottom. He's got it right on that white line. Oh, he's all over the back of Mullins. He's got help from behind. Now here comes the 77 and company. They have a head of steam, but that shoots Mullins out in front as he keeps that car turning, rocking as well. As we go back further through the field, here's the 23, the 88 of Sanders. He continues to be the man on the move, taking it all the way down to the flatlands, going across the start-finish line. Tony, it is lights out for every position on the racetrack right now. Every position, there's a dogfight.
Well, this is the time of the race when everybody's bunched up that, guys figure, I got fresh tires. I can try to make my moves now. But, you've got to think long game. These guys have gone caution-free before.
They have gone caution-free, as we have seen, and they've also escaped some potentially horrible cautions here tonight with some of the saves that we have seen. But, that does not just seem to be in the recipe book right now, Tony. These guys have been going like it's been the last lap since the drop of the green flag. Look at this freight train right here. You got the 64, as he's getting a big run. The 29 has to go to the top shelf, but he's got the 6 up there for some help. Now, look how fast these guys change up lines and just bail on their race line. They are just flexing, scattering all over the racetrack. And this is happening at 180 miles an hour as the 54 is checked out on old tires.
Matt, look at the last lap time he posted. 30.56. Actually, 30.555.
Yeah, fastest. Is that the fastest lap of the...
Fastest lap of the event so far.
I can't... How?
on 30 lap old tires.
Randy Mullins, you need to keep your foot in that Camaro, man. You got a Banshee. No wonder why he stayed out. He knew he could do it. Was he holding back, sandbagging a little bit? Oh, look at King knocking the 88 to the top side. That was a strong move there, just knocking the head chief and bottle washer up the racetrack. That actually helps Sanders as he gets some great run up there. Can he carry the momentum through the dog leg? He does. Coming around to keep it wound up to the top side. Everyone else rocking down the bottom down low. Sanders in no man's land up top, but all of a sudden there's a swarm of cars that go up there with him. He crosses over to the bottom. Look at the move he's about to put on the 23 of Jeff Taylor.
And look at Justin Belmonte going after our defending series champion right now. Little Ford on Toyota action as the Chevy continues to lead. Belmonte plus 30 into a podium position for the first time tonight.
Yeah, that man is driving like a red-headed stepchild that got snookered into a locker and her lunch money stolen the day before at school. That 6 is cutting no one any slack at all this race, and he has used every piece of that race car to the fullest extent without wrecking somebody to put himself up 30 positions. He's done it again in that Mustang.
And Hunter Carmichael, who did catch a piece of an earlier incident, there you see him on the top side, rocking on it. He's currently holding down the final spot in the top 10. And right in front of him, Garrett Crawford in the 6.9. Currently sits plus 10 in ninth.
Yeah, I mean, we're continuing to see the long run crew here continue to bid their case and just build those traits here, Tony, as we continue to grow and learn all of these drivers here throughout our opening stages here of this new partnership, which we're so thankful for. And these guys in Moonshine have definitely treated us to some thrillers here. Another one here tonight, as I have been glued to these monitors from the drop of the green flag. I mean, look just in back of the 6900 Crawford. You have battles all over the racetrack, inches apart. The lines are changing. They're jostling from the top side to the low side. They're going high. They're going low.
They were almost 4 wide there for a brief moment. And I don't know about you, but my butthole puckered.
That pucker's at 2 wide. I don't even want to tell you what happened when they went 5 wide.
That's when you dial 9-1, wait for the boom, and then hit the final 1 and send.
That's why I had to get more water. I lost it completely. Before King there, he is back to 12th now. Slipped up a little bit. Oh, who had a big moment there? Was that the 41?
83.
At 83, thank you, Tony. 83 had a big moment there. Had to go way down the track to catch that race car. As you've seen King and company, now he's found Zimmerman as well. Another really bad, fast Mustang there at times. You got 3 Mustangs together working to catch those 3 Camaros in front of them.
And how about another name that we haven't talked a lot about tonight? I mean, he got sent earlier, but good recovery drive for Leo 11 here. In 14th, currently sits plus 21.
Stealth mode, Larry. I mean, this guy maneuvers in a way. He seems to be that race car driver in the series that does not like to be talked about. He doesn't want to be put in the spotlight, and he picks them off slowly but surely over time. And by the time it's over, he's always in the conversation. Tony, you're right. Larry having a great run, up 22 spots now, knocking on the back door of the top 10. As every lap literally into these corners is hold your breath for its entirety.
Garrett Crawford and Caleb Levenier going after each other now. Levenier able to wrestle ninth spot in the 9+2.
3 wide. King on the bottom in the 4.
Wortman cracks the top 10.
Yeah, Wortman continues to churn up the podium now. Like you said, Tony, up 22 into the top 10. As we now have under 100 laps to go. We're coming down now on the short side and look for the action only to get rowdier from here as King is determined to find a way around the 83 of Wortman Jr.
Let's go on board with Nick.
The Indiana Hoosier from Scottsburg, Indiana. Looking out the front of that Ford Mustang, you can see him takes it down to the bottom shelf this time. That's the shortest distance around the racetrack. But these guys really carrying some momentum there on the top side. But being able to cut part of this racetrack out here really helps counter that, it seems.
It does. When you can take the short way through the dog leg on the front stretch, hey, take it. I know at some tracks they make sure that is out of bounds. Not so much here.
Only place I'm not a big fan of that, Tony, is at Phoenix because, I mean, that's a hope and a prayer. It seems like anytime someone goes down there, they never make sure they got a spot to come back up into, and someone always seems to get clobbered. But with the configuration of this track, it just works a lot better. And if you're up for paying the premium price of the tire fall off there, going from the bagging to the flat, working that inside the flat of the racetrack, you're right. You definitely make some time up. As we're 3 wide again, just in front of him. Another walk in the park as the 88 of Sanders has a moment. Now he has to back out, and he is dropping like a rock to the back for having to crack the throttle. And that's the price you pay in this race car when you have to get out of the throttle for a moment. You fall like a javelin to the back.
this car is more momentum based than any previous iteration
Yes, sir.
of the Cup car.
It just doesn't have the ponies. It doesn't have the power to help you recover. It's just not there.
It's a double-edged sword. They're trying to slow the cars down for safety reasons. But I think Ryan Newman hit the nail on the head earlier this week when he said, yes, he's going to be racing this coming weekend.
Whoa!
But he doesn't.
Hello! Are you kidding me?
Lebanon saved it.
Full-fledged drift, tires smoking all. Are you kidding me?
Nope. But getting back to what I was talking about, Ryan Newman said that he refuses to be a crash test dummy again for NASCAR. His quote was, "I've already got 2 bars in the car named after me. I don't want a third."
Hey, you know what? Very honest, straightforward. And that's it. In as bold of a statement as that is, he's 100% correct.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't agree with him more.
I mean, this car, it's still giving drivers concussions. Oh, we fixed that. No, you didn't. Don't lie.
You can tell by the way they drive in this race car at times it's not fixed.
No, it's far from fixed. And there's not much they can do, really, because of how they make the team set these cars up. Where they have the fuel cell placement in this car, there's no need for where it is. You know, it could be in a different location. Just because that's where it's always been doesn't mean you can't change. You know, you assholes decided you didn't want to go to fuel injection for 30 years after it became standard on every road-going car. There are 2 cars in the world that were built with carburetors when NASCAR finally decided to go to fuel injection, and they were both made in China. No, I'm sorry. One in China, one in Russia.
Correct, Tony. And the argument there is, oh, well, cost. Well, that one has been rang out until everything has come out of it, because it's not about cost. That's just sheer laziness, in my opinion.
You know, sooner or later, what Richard Petty tried back in the 60s is going to come to fruition.
Yeah, it just might here, as we're still...
As far as getting a drivers' union together, I mean, you take a look at every other major sport out there, Major League Baseball, hockey, football, basketball, soccer, pro lacrosse, they all have a players' union.
Well, don't they have something like that now with the mayor, Jeff Burton?
Not really. That's more of a
driver's council. That's what
yes, that's what it is. But it's not really a union. It's not like a collective bargaining agreement. You know, saying that if you make the race, you get this amount of money. You know, NASCAR is trying to milk. Hang on to her, son. But NASCAR is trying to milk every dollar they can out of these teams. Oh, you got to buy a charter. You got to do this. You got to do that. No. Put the racing back in NASCAR racing.
Yeah, if we wanted all of these rules and restrictions, we'd just go run open wheel.
Yeah, I build a Formula One car. There's less rules.
I mean, I hate to say it like that because I love this sport. I've been watching it literally all my life, but... Oh, we could talk about this for hours, Tony.
Well, here's the thing, and you hit the nail on the head there about going open wheel racing. Ryan Newman has been running his pavement modified at select events on the ROC and NASCAR tours. And he said he's having a blast just, kicking back in a modified for the weekend. I mean, those cars are a lot of fun to drive. I've driven one.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun to drive, and there's a lot less politics involved in
Right.
this, that, and the other, which has become modern-day NASCAR.
Big
But I'll
Bill
tell you-
France would be rolling over in his grave if he could see how badly his grandkids have messed up this sport.
And I don't think that was by choice. I don't think the purpose was that was the intent.
It's never the
What?
intent.
Well, sometimes in the business space, sometimes that it is the intent is malicious, as it's darn near a dogfight there between.
It's Chris Davis and Randy Mullins.
They're at the line for third place. I mean, you'd have to look at timing and scoring to figure out who took that position there at the line. It was that close. As now we're starting to finally get strung out here, a little separation throughout the field, the most we've seen over any stretch of the race thus far. There's the 93, the 22 of Bobby Justice.
And we haven't talked about Ryan Huff or Bobby Justice all night, but they've been steadily climbing through this field. Ryan Huff in 14th in the 93 currently sits +6. Bobby Justice in the double deuce currently sitting +8. So those guys have had a safe, solid, quiet evening. As they're both sitting in the top 15 right now.
Yeah, I mean, in spite of all of the chaos, the turbulence, the 5 wides, you name it, inside of these walls around this 1.5 miles, we're back 3 wide one more time.
Of course we are.
Why not dial it back up? I mean, that's 3 wide done right there. That's how you do it.
Well, that was the lap car Chris Spears getting down and out of the way.
Still, I mean, if you're going to go 3 wide, why not do it at that part of the racetrack where you have the most real estate to use?
Justin Sorrell trying to make a move right now. He's got Tim Wortman to his outside, Nick King to his inside. Now sitting in a Ford sandwich is that Chevy. So at the front of this field right now, we've got a Toyota leading a Ford, leading a Toyota. 3 Chevys of Randy Mullins, Hunter Carmichael, and Darren Mullins, with Carmichael being in a Mullins sandwich, or was, now that Nick King has caught him. So you got the Ford of King.
Here comes the 83 with the head of steam as King shoots up.
That's putting a lot of faith in Netcode. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm losing my religion over here watching this, and I'm not talking about the REM version. And meanwhile, all this is going on, and the Sidewinder himself, Mr. Excitement, Kenny Capola, is back to the lead, by the way. He has gotten around the 6 of Belmonte, who is up 31 positions on the racetrack.
Well, Belmonte finally got clear of Chris Davis. Now he's up into 2nd. He ran 3rd for a good portion of the early going of this segment. Oh, sideways off with 4-2.
But Tony, if that's not impressive enough, you know what the most impressive thing this run is, at least for me? That 54 of Mullins on those old worn-out Goodyears is still inside the top 5. As caution's back out on the racetrack of lap 130. Oh, we got a couple cars here pointing the wrong way. The 83 is trying to get... Oh, Jesus, no!
Why? Why?
How did he not see the 14? Watch this, Tony. He's going to get squirrely on the top side. He's going to come down. He's going to bump into the 23. That's going to door him, ricochet him up into the wall. That's going to create a 2-car pile up there on the top shelf. Now watch what happens here. You think the storm is over. It's not. Is the 83 is going to just get a hair flare and boom! Just throttles up, and the 14 has the deer in the headlights as he gets popped by the 83. As we're under caution here once again. Tim Wortman is just, man, he has had some moments out here.
Allow me to
Racetrack.
quote the great Gordon Ramsay. What in the bloody hell are you think you're doing?
I don't. I have to think he didn't see him as close as he was.
That's Bluetooth right front suspension on the 83.
Yeah, that car is toast. No fast repairs in the back pocket. That's going to be an extended stay on pit road to fix that race car. Depending on how this race goes, he might not even be able to get it fixed to get it back out into competition. We have multiple cars receiving service here on pit road, now working lap 131.
And Jamison Middle Miss stays out.
Hey, he's riding the playbook of Mullins. Hey, if you can do it, I can do it too. Why not? Great
Yeah, but
call.
there's a huge difference. It's now 40 laps difference. Before it was maybe 15.
Before I think it was 20, but that's double, and that's a great point there, Tony.
He's got to come down for fuel. I mean, yes, he's going to get the credit for leading this lap. But
well, we know how important points are. Does he duck down pit road the next time by, or is he perhaps banking on another quick caution?
Well, they got to go just shy of 70 laps. So we have not seen the money stop yet. But I'll tell you right now, you're not going to want to miss next week's race as we go to the Raging Cajun Bail Bonds 200 at the Lady in Black next Wednesday.
You know, it's almost like that, but that was scripted. Bail Bondsman, Lady in Black.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, throwback weekend. Going to see some awesome paint schemes on all of these beautiful race cars. They already have some gorgeous cars in the field. I love the throwback races. I can't wait to see what these competitors have in store for us from the OG Super Speedway of NASCAR in Darlington, South Carolina.
If you look quick and don't really, look hard at Jamison Middle Miss's car, it's kind of got that John Player Special-esque feel to it, like when Mario Andretti won the Formula One championship.
It does have that vibe. You're right. If you just do a quick glance at the race car, I that.
Okay, so I'm not losing what little is left of my sanity. Cool.
Quick glance. If you just glance, you keep going back through the field. Yeah, I would stop, and be like, hey, wait a minute, what's that?
And look who's starting to his outside on for fresh shoes. And I think Coppola might have one set left.
Yeah, he's got his Christmas presents there stuffed away in the form of Goodyear Eagles on pit road. Is Mr. Excitement himself now sits on the outside of row number 1. Middle Miss gonna have the button, but Kenny is gonna have, or should have, the speed in that race car. But as Mullins showed us, just because the stats say it should go this way doesn't mean I can't change or I can't rewrite what you know out there on the racetrack. In that 54, right behind the 16, as that pace car dials off. Hold on, folks. Buckle up tight one more time as we hit the Geico restart zone. Middle Miss decides to step on it late. Gets a good restart, does not spin the tires. Great restart for Mullins. And here comes Mr. Excitement in the Toyotas on the top side. Middle Miss going to take it down to the low side of the racetrack.
Oh, no.
And that sounds, oh, no.
Yep.
There it is. There's the big one. Multiple cars. How did everyone get by?
Well, it doesn't sound like everyone got by.
Not, Tony, you know what I mean.
Oh, I absolutely do. That could have ended a whole lot more poorly than it did. Let's take a quick look at the eye in the sky.
Oh.
You see Belmonte in the white, number 6 on the now the right side of your screen. He's going to get sent 4 wide The 29 doesn't realize they're 4 wide, and everybody
Oh,
scatters.
the splatter platter pays off in Kansas.
We're going to
Is
see what
a
happened to the
majority
64
of the
here.
field.
Something happened to the 64 of Mullins. Okay, he gets into the 4, and 4 gets into him, and ouch.
Yeah, that's a hard ride there.
Yeah, you can see
Oh.
all the damage on the front of that 64.
And it looks like we had some an aftershock there as they got by the main event, possibly going down into the corner. There was a couple more cars that tangled up, trying to get back in line. But that was, I can't believe that many cars were able to get out of harm's way. I mean, that should have took out half the field, if not more. You see the 93 there goes for a ride off the 74.
Keeps it pointed in the right direction, though.
Absolutely does.
And with that, we are going to step away for what we hope will be our final commercial break. We'll be back right after this. And we are back at Kansas as the pace cars getting ready to peel on off. Kenny Coppola, Randy Mullins, Hunter Carmichael, Brandon Zimmerman in your top 4 right now. And Coppola has something to prove here tonight as he got robbed of a victory last week. Into the Geico restart zone we go, and looks like fresh tires is going to be the way to go. Is everybody that did not come down under the previous caution came down this time to get their next set of Goodyears. Only 6 retirements to speak of. Warren Young, Chad Sullivan, Shane Davis, Keith Hume Sr., Dennis Jacobs, and Daryl Klotz have all decided to put it on the hauler early. But this battle for second, hot and heavy, is Carmichael on the top side, Randy Mullins on the bottom feeder line all the way down to the grass.
Yeah, Randy Mullins taking it all the way, like you said, to the fringe of the grass there. May have been in the grass, but how about this recovery from Carmichael in that Camaro? I mean, he had fallen back there a good bit through the midway point of the race, and now that Camaro seems to have got its groove back on the top side of the racetrack as he's holding his own there very well. Zimmerman's going to come up. Mr. Excitement thought about it there for a minute. He's going to go back down to the bottom, get in tow with that 54 of Mullins. As Carmichael stays committed to that top shelf by himself. One-man army, one-man wrecking crew on the high side of the racetrack right now.
Coppola, Carmichael, Mullins, Zimmerman, Carson, Sorrell, Binder, Justice, Taylor, and Levenier, your top 10 as we currently sit. Your biggest mover right now belongs to that man in the 81. Always a beautiful looking paint scheme. That is Jeff Carson in the 81 Toyota. Currently sits plus 26 in 5th place.
You can always count on Carson to have. Look at this. Carmichael to the top shelf. Carmichael has the advantage at the line. Carmichael to the lead. But does Mr. Excitement, can Special K get him back on the bottom? The 77 is going to send it in there. Carmichael going to dial it to the roof on the top shelf. He's going to get the spot. He's going to get ahead of Coppola. Carmichael to the lead as he continues to use the nosebleed section of the racetrack and turn it into a rocket ship as that Camaro goes up there and just takes it from the man himself, Kenny Coppola.
The Pied Piper of Williams, Iowa. As you mentioned, Coppola falling back just a little bit, knows that there's still plenty of racing left. We have not had the money stop yet. Everybody came down on lap 130 or 135. You ain't making it just shy of 70 laps to the checkers, so good luck with that.
Now, if the Prodigy Esports cars were out there, who knows? Because we've seen them do some miraculous things, but I don't think we have those setups on display here tonight. But you're right, Tony. 70 miles, that's a huge ask. That juice box is not going to stay saturated for that long. You're going to have to come down pit road one more time to make it the scheduled distance. But Tony, running the top shelf like that, just wide open, you would think that's really got to hurt that right rear tire, correct?
That's the way I look at it. You know, because you're carrying so much more speed, that right rear tire is doing a lot more work. You know, and you're always running the risk of that wind gust that's blowing out of turn 4 towards turn 2 as a cross breeze. If that thing starts gusting and you can't catch it in time, and we're looking at 7 mile an hour winds right now, and the track temperature's down almost 20 degrees from when we started. So there's some good news.
Yeah, that's huge in track temp, because that's really going to allow that lower line to be a little bit more sticky. It's not going to be as greasy when you're up over the century mark. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot, especially in this next-gen car. And that's really helping the bottom. All these guys just bottom feeding right now on the racetrack. But the man with the alternative plan, Carmichael, continues to make that high line work. But is he paying the price and going to prematurely cook those Goodyear Eagles as we see the 77 starting to mount a surge, and he's got help from Zimmerman staying committed with him on the bottom. Look at the run, the 60s. Oh, I can't even talk right now. These guys have got me so fired up throughout the course of this race.
Weak in English, folks, we promise.
The 77 lights the fuse or lights the afterburner one more time. He's on the charge, going back after Carmichael in that Camaro. The 69 of Zimmerman continues to attack the 54. And here comes Jeff Carson in the Camry.
Carson currently in 5th place. He's got Sorrell behind him. And then, we've got a little bit of separation from this front group. Basically, when you get to Justin Belmonte and company, you've got about a half a second separation. And a name we haven't brought up too much tonight, that is John Binder in the Sundrop 33. And been a nice quiet night for him. He's currently plus 15. So another steady climber.
Yeah, another steady climber. Of course, it's nice, all cool, calm, and relaxed and chill. He's got some sun drop, keeping him nice and chill. That man's just vibing right now, staying just outside of the core of the storm there. As he's potentially in that catbird position should something happen just in front of him. But what a drive here in that sun drop Chevrolet. Look at this action here, Tony. It's another horse race, 2x2. The 9 and company, the 9 and the 93, the 29's falling back a little bit. Chris Davis was up there fighting for the lead not long ago. And here goes Kenny. He's eating on the bottom. Carmichael continues to just rock the top. And they are deadlocked in a drag race coming into the turns 3 forward complex one more time. Lap 152 in the books just about as Kenny
and
goes
we're under
back.
caution. Oh, no. What? Ow!
Oh, my goodness, not again.
Well, it's Bluetooth left front suspension for the 14. Let's see what caused this mess. Keep your eye on the red car. Always keep your eye on red.
Red, you're dead.
No. Keep your eye on the Red Queen. That was a toot from the chrome horn gone badly.
Yeah, I was talking about what happened after that unfolded, and they went to take off again. As
oh yeah, no, we're going to see this from the eye in the sky.
Before I'm tracking you now, Tony.
This is gonna hurt.
Full-blown helicopter mode. I mean, why? I mean, I'm not in the race car. I didn't see what he said, but just hold the brake. All you have to do there is hold the brake. I mean, Middle Miss gets his wig split out there for no reason.
This is on board with Jameson. This is what he saw. There's the smoke. There's the accident. He's off the throttle.
Oh my goodness.
Why?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Explain to me why.
I'm not sure what the urgency is out here tonight. We've seen it with the 5. We've seen it twice now involving that 14 car. After the fuse is lit, the bomb goes off, and then there's an aftershock that occurs, and it's because someone just feels possessed to get the heck out of Dodge when there is no imminent threat and collects an innocent bystander there again. As Kenny just took the lead back from Carmichael as the caution flag came out. And another Bluetooth suspension is the byproduct of not holding the brake. Like
Unreal.
I said, Tony, I'm not
Absolutely
the one in the race car.
unreal.
It is unreal, but I mean, these guys, they put on one heck of a show. It takes a ton of talent to race the way that they have been racing all night. And I know we've had a couple cautions, but I don't even really care about those because the competition, the level of racing has just been through the roof. But for whatever reason, after the dust starts to settle, there always seems to be that one car that just feels the need to just hole shot it like they're John Forrest coming off the tree and just collect somebody. This is like the third time now.
Well, it's time for good news, bad news.
Let's get the bad news first.
Well, let me give you the good news.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Everybody that just pit should be able to make it home from here. We're at 1.5 miles on a full boat of fuel. 50 or so laps is not outside of the realm of reality. Bad news. If I don't, there's only a couple of teams that might have an extra set laying on the wall. And from the looks of it, Randy Mullins, Jeff Carson, Justin Sorrell, Jeff Taylor, and Ryan Kling are about the only ones that I can say with pretty much a good set of confidence that they have another set of tires should we get another late race caution. Everybody else, I believe, they just took their final set.
Yeah, and I think that is the big storyline. There's only a couple cars in the field that may have tires left in the pits, but everyone else took their final sets of Goodyears. As we get set to use them up here in Kansas one more time, as Kenny's going to go ahead and murder the throttle once again here, coming up the speed. Those V8s come roaring to life here in Kansas. Another great restart from the 77. He's going to lead the field through turns 1 and 2. As we get going down the backstretch here, through the American Ethanol backstretch one more time. Here comes Carmichael once again, leading the 3 wide charge, almost 3 wide. Look how far he is gone north, and look at the run from the 65 of Zimmerman.
I don't think Zimmerman realized Carmichael was still there when he went up the track, but he caught it in time. Spotter must have said something just in time to make that happen. But we stay green and we stay with confidence as here comes Carson looking to the inside on Zimmerman.
Yeah, Carson is possessed right now in this 81. The most aggressive I have seen Carson this entire stint since we've had this partnership going. And I think part of that is because Carson's been caught up in a lot of calamity later in these races, and he's flipped the gear. He's changed the mindset. Hey, if I'm going to get taken out, I'm going to at least try to go for broke in the process, and it's working for him. Is now Jeff Carson's up 28 spots in third, looking for more as he's got a head of steam get from Zimmerman, trying to clear the 3 of Carmichael.
Carmichael and Carson going after each other as the 54 of Mullins gets by Zimmerman. And here comes Belmonte one more time. Belmonte was the meat in the sandwich. Luckily, Sorrell backed out of it and let him have it, knowing that there were still about 40 laps left in this piece. It'll be 40 to go at the line. And, you know, some of these guys are driving like it might be the final lap of the race.
Yeah, and some of these guys, they've been driving, I mean, here we go again. I mean, pick your poison. I mean, they've been driving like this from the drop of the green flag, some of these guys out there on the racetrack. And look at, here's the 33 of John Binder, continues to just bale hay on his overtake to the top of the pylon. Is that sun drop Camaro really starting to come to life? is he's roaring to the front now as well.
Currently
He's got this.
Currently sits plus 16 in 6th place as he got by Belmonte there finally. Belmonte battles back though as Binder on the top side, Belmonte on the low side. This could get a little bit chippy as Carmichael's caught Coppola again.
Yeah, Carmichael has a really, really fast race car here on these restarts for about the first 10, 12 laps. And then I think he pays the price for running the daylights out of it on the top shelf. And that's when the 77 really starts to hit his groove. As you see him now charging back on the bottom. Carmichael, but I'll tell you what, you want to talk about dedication to a line. Carmichael is 100% committed to that top side. No help, no problem. I'm going up here, and I'm going to keep this screaming demon wound up as he gets by Kenny one more time.
Carmichael fresh out of the Kyle Larson School of Race Driving. Right there, up towards that wall, about as close as you dare get, and still stay out of the marbles.
I mean, you couldn't fit a sheet of paper in the exit of that corner when the 3 came off. I mean, it was that close. He looks like dirt track, like he's up there riding the cushion at times. That's how close he is to the wall.
Well, let's see how close he gets. If he breaks my camera, yep. Into the safer barrier, that goes.
That GoPro lasted all of 5 seconds.
And now it's being dragged along the car, so... Yep.
Tony, you were talking about the price you pay when you run up there. That just hasn't been a factor yet for Carmichael. But we still have a long way to go.
We haven't had a green flag pit stop yet.
We haven't. Could we potentially see one here?
Well, they would have to make it all the way to the end because they pitted on lap 153. With a full boat of fuel, you should be able to make it. What did we figure out Sunday where the pit window was? Roughly around 35 to 40?
35 to 40 laps, and some stretched it a little further.
These guys might be in trouble.
They might be in trouble, especially these guys up front that have to punch the initial hole through the air, is what I'm thinking. And when you're running as hard, especially as Carmichael is, keeping that car, I mean, is probably just wound out as much as he possibly can. That's going to be using a lot of fuel.
Oh, it absolutely is. You know, and that's... Compound that with the fact that he's taken the long way around this place. When they said it's a mile and a half, it's a mile and a half around that white line that designates where the racing surface is and where the apron is. It's a mile and a half along that line.
I know, by the time you add up the distance around the top shelf, you're almost in 2-mile territory.
Roughly, yeah. And we're going to see that tomorrow as we go to Charlotte. You know, it's scheduled for 400 laps there.
Oh, 77 clocks the wall a little bit.
Keeps it pointing in the right direction, but Metallos Carmichael open up a little bit of a gap. Here comes Coppola back on the attack.
I'm seeing there's a trend here. Wall tap and attack. Wall tap and attack.
As Kenny Coppola gets mad at himself for making those mistakes, and you know, now he's right back in the mix of it with Carmichael. He's got Mullins there for company. Belmonte, Wortman, Zimmerman, and Carson all right there.
And here comes Mullins again. Here comes the 54 hard charging on the inside. I mean, it's like take your turn. One guy lights the wick full afterburner. When his afterburner dies off, another guy just lights his afterburner. And what's not happening is a 77 now comes up and really challenges Carmichael again. I think he's going to clear him. The 77 clears Carmichael.
And we're back under caution.
And as Kenny goes back to the point, the caution comes out again. Oh, King.
No, that's Schmitz.
I thought the 4 was king.
No, the 41.
Well, the 41. Thank you, Tony. It happened to Schmeats.
We're about. Oh my!
No. That's not a good one.
Keep your eye on the 45. Okay, that was the 22. Keep your eye on the 22. He's got the 9 right behind him at this point.
9's in tow. He loses it off the corner. Comes back up out of the racetrack, loses it again. Takes it down way deep inside. Does he carry it? Oh my.
Oh.
No. Just no. As the whole front clip is laying out there on the apron of the racetrack. Watch this again. 22 loses it, saves it, takes it in to the infield, out to pasture, and then the momentum carries him back to the racing surface on a collision course. Tony, we have literally seen everything.
Yeah, watch this. I hope your dinner's well digested. That is a first you say it, then you do it moment.
Tony, I lost my lunch early in this race, and I didn't even have any.
Oh, we haven't yet used the vomit cam.
And I mean that in a good way. I mean, the action is just that good. But there have been some other moments on this racetrack of just, what are you doing?
Well, here's my question. Why did we not see more drivers come down pit side this time to at least top off the fuel tank?
You know, getting back to that, Tony, I was going to say, as the 77 was going back to the lead, as the caution came out once again, maybe we're setting up for one of these splash and go type finishes. And I figured we would see everyone coming down pit road, you know.
There's 19 cars on the lead lap, though. And now, from Randy Mullins in 8th on back, they can make it from there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's a lot of track position to give up. Clean air, clearly a premium here. As you can see that in the mentality of how these drivers and teams are attacking, you know, this race with the cautions and their strategy. But should fuel become a factor in this race, like you said, just outside the top 10, I mean, you could have some really prime deep sleepers to win this race should the midnight oil run out before the checkered flag falls.
Well, we're about to find out as Coppola and Carmichael are going to lead us back to green. Wortman and Carson going to start it from row 2. Wortman plus 29, Carson plus 27. Justin Sorrell and Chris Davies going to make up row number 3. And the boss man Barry Sanders in the 88, starting 7th, is already plus 22. And then you go back to Justin Belmonte in the 6th, he is plus 24.
One more time. Here we go from the Geico restart zone. Kenny Coppola in the 77. He's going to get him on the initial get. But how about the drive from Jeff Carson in this 81 machine late? He is really sprung to life. He is aggressive. He is up on the wheel, and he is possessed right now on the racetrack. And big wreck again. The 6 murders the 54 of Mullins. Caution back out on the racing surface.
Look at the inside of Sanders.
Oh, hold on to it, Barry.
Sanders leaning on Mullins. Oh. The 6 tried to come up. The only problem is Sanders was there.
Did you see the shot to the face that the 69 took off the back of the 6?
We're about to see it here. You know, it's almost like Justin Belmonte should paint on his back bumper of the car. Go ahead and hit me. Everybody else does. Oh, yeah. Dead center of the rear bumper. He got the license plate.
You couldn't square it up any better than that. And you're right. That 6 is just peppered race after race. Here we go. Some more cars coming down pit road here. But the core of the leaders stay out once again.
Simply incredible. Hunter Carmichael just had a big blank.
I don't see him on the racetrack. There he is. He's back now.
He's back. But can you check his ping and quality for me?
Absolutely.
Because that's that was big.
Carmichael is nice and he's not horrible. His ping's an 83, quality 99. I mean, he's not perfect, but he's not bad. Others, 66, 58. Belmonte's got a really nice ping. His ping is coming in at a 52 in that 6th place position. That's a ping to be proud of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good one. Lights should be going out this time on the iRacing pace car.
And they're still on.
Or not.
Hey, when you go to Kansas, expect the unexpected in all phases of the race. Whew. I'm not going to have a voice left after this race, and I don't care. Okay. (10-4).
As you know, as Matt alluded to earlier, your top 6 were last down pit road on lap 153. Now we have had 3 cautions since then, but what did we figure, Matt? A lap and a half, 2 laps under caution is about all you're going to save on fuel. I'm not digging the fuel strategy that top 6 are going with. I honestly, I've got my doubts that it's going to work.
Tony, well, I hear what you're saying. I have to firmly believe with the knowledge and the skill set in that front row, they have done their homework and they have the practice.
Well,
and for what
Kenny built the setup for his team.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. And if I see him staying out there, and if he's keeping the faith in the words of George Michaels, then I'm going to keep the faith with him.
I prefer a Limp Biscuit off a $3 bill, y'all.
I thank you so much. I appreciate that comment, Tony.
I was a biscuit fan in college.
Biscuit's still good.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
No, what I mean is, I still rock those, chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water. I understand it's 23 years old. I don't care.
Hey, I'm still sailing the seas of cheese with Primus.
Now there you go. There's a deep sleeper. Primus. Jerry was the race car driver. Well, where's Jerry in this race? Help Kenny win this race. Come on, let's go. In the Geico restart zone one more time, then they're off. Is it the last restart of the race with 20 laps to go? And the 77 man looking to take back what was stolen from him last week is in the right seat to do it. But Carmichael and company has other plans. I can promise you that, as he's driving like Grandma stole that XRE Camry. But look at the Carmichael and the other Camry getting worked together there, but they're going to fan out. That's going to slow them down just a little bit. As that really shoots Kenny out ahead of these guys, as Carmichael's going to have a big run here, perhaps when he comes up on the back of that 77 TRD machine. And 3 wide now behind Carmichael as the top 2 have cleared the disaster area or the potential danger zone on the racetrack. The 88 of Barry Sanders now in the middle of that hornet's nest on his charge throughout the field. He has taken his time. He has been patient. He has been on the verge of disaster, 3-4 wide. And yet that 88 now finds himself just outside the top 5 in that 6th place position.
Trying to still dig deep, and another name we haven't mentioned hardly at all tonight is the driver of that 87. That is Steve Harry. Steven's had a relatively quiet evening. Plus 20. Congratulations.
Hello.
Exactly.
Rocking the front row Joe numbers. I see you, Stephen Harry. 18 laps to go. Who is going to survive? Who is going to have the fuel? Do we see disaster strike on the racetrack? Do we go green till the end?
The answer is a definite maybe.
Look at the racing out here on the racetrack. I mean, these guys are not given an inch. It is take 1,000%. As here comes Zimmerman again, now working on the back of Harry.
Matt, when we're done with this broadcast, look up Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Note number 3. Look up Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Got it, Tony.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're seeing on track right now.
I don't know how Carmichael does this in that Camaro. This is impressive. No help up there, full one-man army mode. And he just attacks up there. I know Kenny is cleared out of the area as he's really lightened the afterburner once again. But the way Carmichael has been able to just go up to the top shelf, way up in the nosebleeds like that, and is still even to hang with this front pack. I thought that right rear would be absolutely destroyed by now. And yet he is right there fighting with Zimmerman for that 4th place position. And look at Harry, now up 23 spots into the podium slot.
And here's something that'll go back to our college days, Matt, as I got to get the right car. Look who the sponsor is on Steve Harry's car.
Oh, that is awesome.
I haven't seen one of those shirts in 25 years.
Oh.
If you grew up in the 80s and were in high school and college in the 90s, there were 2 major t-shirts, 3 t-shirts everybody wanted in their collection. Something from No Fear, something from Big Johnson, and something from Absolute.
That was one of the big 3. I remember my my older cousins at that time. They were diehard about that about those T-shirts. Tony, you're absolutely right.
Speaking of which, I'm going to piss off everybody in Ohio right now, because when I was living in Columbus, when Ohio State opened back up, Absolute released special edition vodkas for all of the D1 schools in the country, and they had Absolute Ohio. They didn't call it Ohio State, but it is Absolute Ohio, but it was in the Ohio State font. And we were sitting at dinner one night, and a buddy of mine goes, I wonder what that tastes like. And without looking up, I took a bite and went, probably Suboxone and disappointment. And he said, yeah, I'm probably right.
I agree, Tony. Well, I can tell you one thing. That big Johnson-powered 87 is certainly bulging at the right point in time of the race, as he's in that third and final podium transfer spot, up 15 spots. But Brandon Zimmerman is giving up everything he possibly can. Zimmerman, another guy that's just been lights out on the wheel tonight as well.
And look who has gotten back into the top 5.
This guy in the 6, he is something else. All the carnage, all the hits that he has taken, and yet he refuses to die, as he is right on the back of 87 Stephen Harry machine. He's to the inside now, going to the bottom, door to door. It's a drag race coming off of turn 4 there at the start-finish line. I'm not sure who had the spot at the line, as they're still side by side. It stayed over here.
Harry did.
God, for timing and scoring.
Absolutely, but take a look at Belmonte. He's finally gotten clear of Harry, now setting his sights on trying to reel Zimmerman back in, and the lead is gone.
What happened to the 77? He is walking the dog right now.
He's either got a tire going down or is running low on fuel. With 8 laps to go, this is going to be a tragedy. 2 weeks in a row.
I just heard on the radio someone key up and say, I don't know how you saved it, Kenny. Oh, look at him getting squirrely again.
That right rear is gone.
God. Is the 23, is that Taylor?
Jeff Taylor is currently leading this race. With as damaged as that car is, he's still leading.
I can't believe it. The Junkyard Special is carrying the torch in Kansas.
Coppola into the wall. That's going to open the door for Belmonte and Harry to get a run at him. 7 to go. And Zimmerman is just steadily reeling in Taylor.
Yeah, Zimmerman is possessed right now. And that car is a lot cleaner than the 23 of Jeff Taylor. As miraculous as that is for that car to be up there, that mean machine leading this one, Taylor in that Camaro, in that Mustang is there. Here we go. He's going to drive it down low. He's really going to send it in on the bottom. The 23 going to come up and try to steal his line, steal his air. He does a great job of it there, coming through the Geico restart zone. He's going to be able to stay out in front.
Handshake lap.
5 laps remain.
Taylor and Zimmerman just continue to do battle here up at the front of this piece. Taylor has it. Zimmerman wants it. And Coppola is under heavy pressure right now as Belmonte and Stephen Harry go door to door. And Coppola is fading quickly.
Yeah, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Not again. And I can't believe what I'm seeing at the front. And here is Zimmerman. Zimmerman to the bottom. Zimmerman to the lead. Taylor fighting back on the top shelf as Kenny's fighting for his life just behind this battle for the lead. It's door to door, side by side. It is not over yet. Is now Zimmerman cannot clear the 23 of Taylor.
He's got it at the line. Taylor battling back on that top shelf, though. Zimmerman had that lap.
And here
3
comes
to go.
Taylor.
3 laps to go. And that
Whoa.
battle for the final step of the podium is just gotten away from Kenny Coppola, as Steve Harry has it.
Steve Harry has it. We barely talked about this guy all race long. And somehow, some way, he has the final podium spot, up 23 spots in the 87. That silver metallic car is really rocking right now. But Jeff Taylor refuses to give up the lead as Zimmerman cannot find...
Contact!
My goodness, are you kidding me?
That's going to open the door for Taylor. Steve Harry.
Kenny on the top side. Coppola back to the lead. Are you serious?
White flag is out, and we are racing back to checkers. They're still beating on each other.
They're wrecking behind him. The 77 has the lead. Here comes Big Johnson on the bottom. Are you kidding me? They're going to drag race till the end. Slideways off the top. It's a John Force special into 3 and 4. Who is it going to be at the line? The 77, is it going to be the 87?
Coppola's got the run.
Coppola's got the run. He's got the win. Unbelievable.
Kenny Coppola wins at Kansas. Steve Harry comes home in second place. Jeff Taylor able to salvage third. Brandon Zimmerman and Justin Belmonte rounding out your top 5. Belmonte, your biggest mover in the positive direction, plus 28.
That's it. That's all I can take. I'm done. Are you kidding me? The heartbreak for Harry. The miracle, the favor gets returned to the 77 of Kenny Coppola on a last lap miracle, as I thought he was for surely written off again. And that's why it's never over till it's over. That's the wildest last lap you will ever see at Kansas. I promise you that. The man called his shot Babe Ruth style as he burns it down at the start-finish line. And my voice is absolutely toast.
Well, Matt, take a quick sip of water because I believe you've got Kenny Coppola with you now.
Kenny Coppola. Man, dude, you called your shot after you got mugged last week.
Man, I thought it was going to be fresh tires again this week, man. I was really playing the long game, and we just couldn't get a long run. Something would happen 20, 25 laps into a run. I was out of tires and was praying we could get that last 50 laps in under green, and it just didn't happen. And I was gutted sitting there thinking I'm going to get beat by fresh tires again 2 weeks in a row. And
but not to cut you off there, and as it looked like that right rear had just fizzled out, it was gone as you were holding on for dear life.
Yeah, you know, the car
miracle,
was...
Go ahead.
Well, the car was more tight than it was loose. I was trying to get it to burn the right rear a little bit, crank and wheel into it and get onto the throttle, but man, I don't even know. What an exciting finish, though.
I'm KO'd right now. I can't believe what I just witnessed. But the robbery that had occurred that they took from you last week, I think now has been given back to you, because miraculously the last lap happens and you come across the line first, and an exhilarating finish between you and Steve Harry a game of inches at over 180 miles an hour at the line, and you come away with the win. I can't believe what just happened. Can you believe what just happened?
I really can. I said with 5 to go, I'm done. I got nothing left for these guys. My car's tight. They're all on about 15 lap fresher tires than I am, and I'm just going to try to settle in and finish 3rd or 4th. And then Brandon and Jeffrey were battling pretty hard there for 2, 3, 4 laps. And I'm not quite sure what happened. They got into each other somehow, and it checked Steven up, and I just snuck my way around the outside.
That was, I mean it, that was one of the best finishes at Kansas you will ever see. One of the wildest last laps I have ever seen in NASCAR, watching races in real life and sim racing. Congratulations. What a win. What a statement, overcoming what happened last week. Darlington next week, what do you have for him?
Oh, we got a car at Darlington. We go back to a track that fits my style, straight up driver's track, throttle control, and real technical. So we'll be bringing another rocket ship out there next week.
There you go. Kenny, I'm going to stop jaw jacking. I'm going to let you go celebrate this one with your team. Who helps you get it done on that 77?
Yeah, I want to thank Team Watson Racing Setups for giving me the opportunity. They have Beast Mode Performance, my race team, Warrior Wraps, Warrior Racing, Martin Sports. I want to thank Bass Pro Shops, Monster Energy. I want to thank you guys for putting on a heck of a broadcast. Can't wait to get to work and watch this one. And then just want to thank Barry and all the guys that come out to do this on Wednesday nights.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, in a miracle finish tonight. Kenny Capella wins here in Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore. Tony, back to you, sir.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. Well, I did get collected in one of them. I just didn't have nowhere to go, and I had about 2.5 minutes of damage, so I ended up getting it fixed and working my way back up. And on that one to the last caution, I went ahead and got my last set of tires I had in there, and hopefully it's going to pay off. But them two guys in the front there, they got in together, and I had to check up for them, and then that put Kenny right back in it. So a good win to him. Not really, but we'll give it our all, and we'll see what happens. I hear that. I'd like to thank Kenny and them for, getting me over here and the TWRS team. And, yeah, I had a good time, man. I appreciate it. And thanks y'all for the broadcast.
Jeff Taylor, Matt, and Tony up in the booth. You got us, sir.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm still trying to figure that out. First of all, thanks for one of the best finishes at Kansas you will ever see, period. You come home in third. Describe that final lap as it went down from the cockpit of your race car.
I mean, so I'm still trying to get my thoughts together on that one. Basically, I think I should have stuck with the high line. I did not try to block the 65 of Zimmerman. I was trying to take the nose off his car. I was trying to work the air to my advantage, and I just cut it too close. I feel terrible for me and him because we should have just raced it out to the end. I mean, I know it probably looked good on camera, but it sucks being in the driver's seat. I wish I could tell him I'm sorry more than enough times, but I can't take it back.
I hear it in your voice, and you're right. Definitely from a TV standpoint, it was the most exhilarating thing you can ever witness at a 1.5 mile oval. The other side of it is exactly what you're describing, being in the cockpit of that race car, and you can hear it in your voice right now. And I'm sure Steve and Harry, heard you loud and clear. We just spoke with him as well. If you could do it again, obviously you said you'd do it different, but you still came home in third. That car did not look aerodynamically sound at all, and yet you had the car up there carrying the torch. How were you able to do that?
I have no idea. I'm still perplexed at that one. We got the damage earlier in a wreck, and I was just I saved a set of tires early on, and there with that 30 lap run, pitted Kenny and them didn't. Kenny was out of tires, and I knew I'd have a shot. I did not think I would get past Kenny, but I had to wear my stuff out getting to Kenny and around him. And Zimmerman was able to run me down fair and square. It was totally fair and square what he did, and I'm looking back at it. I saved the replay just so I can watch and learn from it. And I don't know. I couldn't even tell what kind of damage I had. I had some on the nose, I know, but it still was just flying. It pinned it. I made a little air pressure adjustment there on the last run so that it would fire off a little bit quicker. I was better on the long runs than I was the short runs, and I just that little bit of air pressure adjustment helped me out. But Zimmerman, he should have ran it. He should have won that, or he shouldn't have been took out by me. I still think if I would have kept to the high side, looking back, I had already gapped him. I would have been all right.
I'll tell you what, Jeff. It's spoken like a true champion, a veteran. These things happen in real time at over 180 miles an hour. And that's the worst thing about having time to sit there and think about it, right? You paint the picture 10 million different ways, but you still come home through third. You put out an excellent performance. I'll cut you loose. I'll let you go celebrate this one with your team or whatever you do after these races.
I'm going to cry.
You're going to cry. I don't want to make it sound depressing for you, but I get it. I've been there. But who do you want to thank on that 23 in spite of everything that happened? I mean, you still have people that help you work on that race car, that help you get to that third place each and every week.
It's always Alonzo King with Dark Tempest Motorsports and Kenny Coppola and all the guys at Team Watson. The help, every week something's different. We get a new tire model, and Kansas threw me for a loop. I normally drive a really loose race car like Kenny does, but I've had to, I won a Darlington race last night in A Open, and I went with a snugger setup, and it really worked out for me, which is odd. It doesn't make sense with what we've been experiencing so far this season. But that tire model threw us for a loop the last few weeks. And Kenny, Alonzo with Dark Tempest, those guys, couldn't thank them enough, man. And Warrior Wraps, Nick King for the wrap there. Put new paint for the car last week and this week, man, and we appreciate y'all doing the broadcast. And always Barry. Barry's the best admin I've had. I like that guy a lot. So we really appreciate everybody and putting it on. Like I said, I'm gonna go beat myself up. If it wasn't too late to take a drink, I would.
Man, that's probably the worst third place finish Jeff Taylor's ever had in his life, is he can really care less about the podium spot. Just dejected after what took place with him in the 87 on the final lap. Hope you have a great week, man. We'll come back, see you next week. Darlington. Tony Trapasso, back to you, sir.
And that's going to put another one in the books for us as Kenny Coppola, Steve Harry, and I've got a little bit of a discrepancy here. Because on one screen, it's telling me Jeff Taylor finished in third and Brandon Zimmerman in fourth. And it's completely backwards on the results on the screen. So, Matt, can I have you open up your iRacing HUD for me?
Well, this is where it gets interesting, Tony. So now iRacing has updated the results, and I am now seeing Brandon Zimmerman in third and Jeff Taylor in fourth.
Well, if that's the case, let's see if we've got Brandon still in the Discord. And I do not see him. Son of a pup.
Another end of the race position.
Yeah, that's weird.
A shocker at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. But Justin Belmonte finishing in fifth, rounding out your top five. Nick King, John Binder, Randy Mullins, Hunter Carmichael, Justin Sorrell rounding out your top 10. Jeff Carson, Tim Wortman, Barry Sanders, Chris Davis, Ryan Huff, Ryan Kling, Caden Nofree, and Darren Mullins rounding out the top half of the field. Matt? Do we still have Matt?
Chris Spear there in 19th. Matt Mackin in 20th. That's running out your top 20. In 21st, Nicholas Atwood, Aaron Matthews, Jamison Middlemiss, and Garrett Crawford. And Paul Whitney. That's your top 25. 26th through 30th. That's going to be Caleb Leviner, Bobby Justice, David Balaseri, and Justin Schmeets, Ari Leviner through your top 30. And for the rest of the grid here tonight, 31st is Warren Young, 32nd, Chad Sullivan, 33rd belongs to Shane P. Davis, presiding 34th, Keith Hume Sr., 35th, Derek Jacobs, and your final finish here tonight, rounding out the top 36, the 99 of Daryl Klotz.
And that is going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. as the Svenska iRacing Ligan Cup Series goes to the Swedish 600 at Charlotte. I will be on the call for that one. Matt said he's going to try to join me. Only time will tell who's actually going to be my broadcast partner tomorrow. But be sure to join us at 2 p.m. tomorrow. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. Turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media, as we do have racing 7 nights a week now. As we always say, he's Matt Metler. I'm Tony Trapasso. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week and until we get a chance to meet again, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic. Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you next week.